Hiya.
Yeah, mate.
Hiya.
I'm Jane and I'm on Love Island.
Oh God, don't.
Welcome to the Rollcast, the official podcast of TryRolling.com,
Hi.
where myself and other writers like Joe, obviously, who just said hi, and Scott, we talk about what's happening in the wacky world of video games.
Hiya, you're right.
But yeah, and
All
Scott's
right.
back. There you go. Scott, say hi.
Hiya, you're right.
Yeah, this week it's the E3 special. Obviously, it's next week that it's coming on, and obviously, there's been loads of announcements flying about and games that are still rumoured to be cropping up. So we're just gonna break it down for you.
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, this E3 has been very weird, hasn't it? Because we have obviously EA do their own thing now the day before, which is basically still E3. But this year we've had a load of companies that either had stuff leaked, like Assassin's Creed always have stuff leaked, and then also we saw Rage leaked as well. But then we've also seen stuff like where Bethesda has decided, instead of waiting to E3, we're just going to announce a new Fallout right now because we can. So it's been really weird because we've had so much stuff already announced that have got, I'm sure, a lot of people excited, and we've not even begun E3.
Yeah, it's
I don't
weird.
even understand that because it ruins when you actually get to E3 because there's no new, fresh, exciting bangs. Like imagine if they'd have shown Fallout 76 on that big screen up there during one of the conferences, and we're like, boom, Fallout 76.
Yeah, it's very
not
weird,
live,
isn't
it's
it?
an MMO. Get excited.
Yeah, it's because they own Rage as well. Like they're publishing Rage too, so it's weird that two of their essentially secret games have been outed before E3. So maybe it was intentional, so that they've got even like more to show us. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's just really weird because the whole point of E3 is like Christmas. You're supposed to tune into the conference and you see a load of crazy stuff that you're like, oh my god, no way! There's going to be Death Stranding 7. It's going to be it's like a 7-part series and it's out today. And you're supposed to be like, whoa, what the hell? And then you're talking about it. So it's weird that we're having stuff come out so soon. So should we talk about Fallout 76 first of all?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was saying, it's weird that the build it's just gotten so big and ridiculous that it's evolved into there is, like you say, there's hardly any surprises now because you know that it's all coming. Like it's like they can't help themselves.
Well, Fallout 76 was told about by one guy, wasn't it? There's one guy that released it, the same guy that released stuff on Fallout 4. I don't know where he
Really?
I did, but I thought.
Oh, I didn't know. I just saw there was that stream that was obviously doing the please stand by, and I was like, oh, okay, what are you possibly going to announce? Because in theory, this should be like an Elder Scrolls year, because even though the last Fallout was 3 years ago almost, it almost still feels too soon.
It does.
Like give us another Elder Scrolls.
I would much prefer another Skyrim, in my opinion. Not another Skyrim, fuck another remake of Skyrim, but another
Skyrim 2. Skyrim now coming to iOS.
A new Vegas too would be cool.
A new what? Sorry.
New Vegas 2.
Yeah, that's what we were hypothesizing before, weren't we? We were like, maybe it's like not obviously a New Vegas 2 or just something else like New Hampshire or something. I don't know. But yeah, something along that line where it's not like a big Fallout game, but it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd prefer if it wasn't a New Vegas 2. I like it that they move between different areas each time. And we've never seen the East or anything like that. So one in the East.
Or like
going on over there.
Yeah, just like anywhere else in the world, because it's always like 1950s America almost, isn't it? Like what's going on in Japan, what's going on in the UK, like what's going on in Germany. Like just that'd be really cool. Like what's like the British version of all the vaults?
Yeah.
Like but and apparently it's rumored to be fully online. Is that what you said?
That's the room.
I think that's what the guy was the one releasing actually. So it wasn't him that actually teased Fallout 76, but he was saying it's going to have online, it's going to have a multiplayer. We just don't know what that is yet. But I've heard from a lot of people on Reddit and my extremely, knowledgeable sources of information that it can't support MMO. If they're using the current engine that they have built up since Morrowind, that engine can only support a certain number of players on the screen at any one time. It's not optimized in the way that MMOs are.
So either new engine or
so either they
or it's not going to be very good.
Engine, or it's going to be co-op and have, I don't know, up to like 16 players or something. I don't know how it works, but it wouldn't support an MMO number of players.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Are you both excited for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be set 20 years after the bombs fell, so it's the closest one we're having to the actual incident.
Yeah, it's the earliest, right?
20 years
apparently. Yeah, I saw someone said
after.
that I think it's either the death clause or there's something, or like the super mutants. There's something that in Fallout lore hasn't technically been created yet. So I can't remember what someone said. It was either super mutants or like the death claw things. One of those two, I think, hasn't technically been created in Fallout lore. So people were saying like it's going to be a drastically different game because they're going to have to address a whole load of different things. Plus, it almost.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, it almost seems like it's called 76 and it almost feels like it's a 70s vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like it felt ever so slightly different to like the 1960s aesthetic that normally carries through. So yeah, I'm just excited to see what it is, like whether I'm going to be playing it or not, essentially.
Yeah, I think if it's a Fallout game that also happens to be online, then it's definitely going to be a purchase. But if they're building it to be like this MMO game, which the single player aspect of it suffers, then it's a miss for me. All depends. All depends on what they show.
You just want the New Vegas.
I think people are too skeptical of it being, even if it was an MMO, I'd still give it a look. I'd be a bit suspicious after the way that they handled ESO, but
exactly, yeah.
I don't know. People have always said that wouldn't it be amazing if you could play Fallout with friends and everyone's going off on a tangent when it actually happens. So I'm holding that skeptical side.
I wouldn't be say if, for instance, New Vegas, say if that had online, that'd be perfect. Do you know what I mean? But it needs to keep its Fallout roots, not just like you're in this post-apocalyptic world, but there's nothing to do. Just run around and shoot people.
It'd ruin the vibe as well.
Yeah.
Because even the MMO type of thing works better with an Elder Scrolls universe as opposed to a Fallout universe. It could be cool if you could do things like assault other people's settlements. Like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh yeah, because they tried to bring that out in like Fallout 4, didn't they? To like bring that to the forefront a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to like include that whole base building aspect.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see how that works with online. But then also I'd be annoyed, like when I was playing Fallout 4, I'd spend a lot of time making bases and making sure those bloody cables all like stuck together so a light would work. And then if someone just comes in and like shoots me with is it the VAT system, the aiming system, just shoots me with that, and you'll be like, oh, for God's sake. And you just see some guy like taking all your cables.
Oh,
like, damn it.
They like raid your base.
Yeah.
If you pause and you're like, oh crap, he's using VATs.
And then you just get, General, another settlement needs your help.
Yeah, he's just the star of the show. You play as him online.
Okay.
Then also, as we were talking about Bethesda, like Rage 2 seemingly coming out of nowhere, because I think initially it was a Walmart Canada leak where they put a load of games on their website, like I think it was Gears of War 5, Halo 6.
Oh yeah,
they
it's on
said,
the site, isn't it? Yeah, you put it on the site.
Yeah, and they said Forza Horizon 5, which is weird because Forza Horizon 4 isn't a thing yet. Then also Rage 2 was on there, as well as Splinter Cell, by the way, which we'll probably talk about later on. But Rage 2 was on there, and everyone was like, "Oh no, there's no way these leaks are real, because who on earth asked for a Rage 2?" And then Bethesda just completely embraced this seeming cock-up, and they're like, okay, the trailer's coming out in a few days, because they just did a load of like Instagram posts with like, I think it was the 15th of May or something, 14th of May, like spray painted into these Instagram posts, and then they did a teaser trailer, and then they did a full-on trailer. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't play the original Rage. I couldn't give a damn. But when I watched this trailer, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
this has got me interested. I'm definitely going to see what this turns out to be.
It definitely looks very interesting, like, from all the action and everything that was going off in the trailer. The speed at which the trailer came out as well, it was almost like they had the whole thing planned, because it just, as soon as it leaked, it was like, boom, trailer.
Yeah, apparently they planned on releasing a trailer in May, and it just so happened it ended up being sooner than anticipated because of the other leak. So they did have like the trailer and everything ready, but so Rage 2 is being developed by the people who make Just Cause, that franchise, the people who made the most recent Doom, and then what's the other studio? I can't remember. I think it was either Wolfenstein or... Yeah, it's just pulling from the most incredible studios for like action, combat, first-person shooter. Oh, that was it. So it's 2015's Mad Max game, which is absolutely brilliant in terms of car combat. Like that game was phenomenal. Then you've got the guys who made Doom, like the Doom remake, and then also the people who make Just Cause. Those three teams coming together to make Rage 2. So the car combat is going to be incredible. The gun combat is going to be absolutely incredible. And it looks like everything else in terms of like the punk music and like for some reason this like bright pink spray paint everywhere. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like destructible environments and all sorts of crazy scenarios you can get into as well. Yeah,
it looks phenomenal. So that's a game that I was like, I couldn't give a crap about, and then watched the trailer and was like, I'm definitely going to be excited to see more of this at E3.
I hope it's not a direct sequel. Like, I hope it's its own game, because I can imagine about 95% of its player base are not going to have played the first one.
Yeah, it's like, this is a direct sequel. You need to have played the first game to understand what's going on.
No.
Yeah,
that would be a bad move.
Not interested. And then if we're speaking about leaks, you want to jump to Splinter Cell, or should we talk about Assassin's Creed?
Well, like you say, not much has been actually kind of leaked with Splinter Cell, other than it's been posted on, I think it was Amazon Italy, something like that.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, there's a Splinter Cell game coming, look for it at E3, and it's like, that's all we know. Like, but I'm excited. And another Splinter Cell. Well, a Splinter Cell on PS4 on the current gen of consoles is something that I've wanted for a couple of years now. So
it's weird because we've not had a Splinter Cell in so long and seemingly for no reason. Like I'm not sure how well it sold, but it's just felt it's felt weird not having a Splinter Cell, right? Like I feel like we're owed one. And then obviously I forgot what the guy's name is. What's the lead character called in Splinter Cell?
Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher. He appeared in Ghost Recon Wildlands recently as like almost like a DLC mission. So everyone was like,
that's gotta
surely like you don't just pull him out of the woodwork for a one-off cameo in a different game and then be like, no, that's done.
Yeah. I mean that little cameo as well was quite touching as well, because he actually makes reference to Metal Gear Solid. I don't know if you've seen the
I heard that.
Seen it.
Yeah.
It's like he's talking vaguely obviously about Solid Snake, and he's like, oh, I heard that guy retired,
Yeah, the guy with the bandana or whatever he said.
And he's there like he's saying like, I'm the only one left or something like that. It's quite a touching little tribute.
Yeah, but I'd be 100% down for that. Just give me something at E3 where it's like, if it's this year, I'd like to see a few minutes of something. If it's still not quite ready, just give us 15 seconds where it's like dark, thunderstorm, rainy, and then you just see like the camera pan out a bit. Yeah, and you just see the 3 green lights, and you're like, okay, and it's like, yeah, then it's just 2019. Done. I'm like, wow, okay, yes. Start clap.
Why don't they hire you?
You need the
exactly.
Like, movie trailer music as well, that the really deep like boom.
Yeah, the Inception soundtrack.
Yeah.
Or he just like turns to the camera and he's like, kept you waiting, huh?
That'd be
like, wait. It's just like a weird crossover thing. Yeah, it's what's his face? Oh my god, I can't forget. I can't remember anyone's names. Who is the most recent Solid Snake?
As in the
Or Venom Snake or
actor,
whatever it is. Yeah. Oh, that was it. It was Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah,
he was the new voice. Yeah. Like it for some reason, Sam Fisher is now Kiefer Sutherland, and you're like, what? Yeah, I'd be.
Plot twist. Sam Fisher is now David Hayter.
Wow. Okay, I'd be down for that.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
And there's like a weird Metal Gear mission. I'll tell you what. I think we've just invented a 10 out of 10 game. Splinter Cell meets.
I'll tell you what, Ubisoft,
Metal
if you
Gear.
want to hire us, I'm
Yeah,
not saying, I'm
We'll
not
make
saying.
your trailers, we'll make your games.
Yeah, we'll do it all. You only need the three of us as well. So fire whoever else you have.
Yeah, we're good ideas, men. We've just done the trailer for you. We've got all the concepts ready.
I mean, what else do they have left to do? I don't think they've got anything left, have they?
Exactly. All they have to do is make a game, but see.
Can't be too hard. So, Joe, what are you most excited to see at E3? Either a prediction, is there something you're going to be like, right, there's going to be a Crash Bandicoot new game, which I think might happen, or of whatever is like officially announced so far, what are you like most stoked to see or get like more information on?
Well, I don't know if I'm stoked about it, but something that's not been revealed yet is so Final Fantasy VII, the remake of Final Fantasy VII. We saw that a couple of E3s back, and that was for the PlayStation, and it's not been revealed on Xbox yet.
I think you need to be honest, Joe. That game is dead.
Yeah.
Like that was like it came out, and then they were like, "Oh, it's going to be episodic," and everyone was like,
No,
"Wait, what?" and then they just didn't hear anything. And then apparently, quite recently, I think it was on LinkedIn or somewhere, there was a job listing that appeared, essentially confirming that they were remaking, like, the remake. So, like, whatever work they'd done up until that point was being redone again. So it's almost like, no, that game is never coming out. That game is 100% dead in the water.
Coming 2025.
So, yeah, coming to the exclusive PlayStation 6.
That'd be a little spark of hope if we did see something on it. Something about, maybe they confirm it's not episodic. We can
maybe they confirm it's not dead.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to see something.
Not dead.
I don't think it will be dead. That's too much of a money maker for them to completely shut it down. But that the trailer in 2015 was awful. The dubbing, the animations.
Kept you waiting, huh?
But
I think Square Enix actually have a very small pre-recorded press conference. They're just doing a live stream. I think it's tomorrow. So apparently they are, and that's when everyone is expecting the Kingdom Hearts 3 release date, which I'm sure you're excited for as well. So everyone's expecting to see stuff then. And I can imagine them just going, yeah, so we've not got the Kingdom Hearts release date just yet. Final Fantasy VII is still in development. Don't worry. Here's a cool indie game, and then they just like cut to black. That's it.
13 years. I think it's 13 years. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been waiting since that first tease.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. But what about you, James? What are you stoked to see? I can imagine. Please don't say Call of Duty because I will be very annoyed.
We've seen Call of Duty. I think there's 2 games I think we're going to see more of, and 2 games in particular that I'm like super hyped for. 2 quite futuristic games. There's Cyberpunk 2077. You hyped for that?
I haven't heard of it actually.
It's coming from. It's coming from the guy CD Projekt Red who made The Witcher.
So it's just going to be massive, open world, absolutely gorgeous, like in-depth fighting system, lore.
Music of any game.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, apparently you can create your own character in this game, so that'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
It's literally just going to be The Witcher, but set in like Blade Runner times, and it's going to be
Is that is that actually what it is, or is that what we're
That's what
assuming?
it's looking like, Joe. That's
Okay,
that's
what it
from
is.
the stylized trailer.
They did it. I think they did a trailer 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and it looks really cool. It's just got like this woman who's obviously like a robot or something because she's got like weird blades coming out of her arms, and she's just like on the street. Yeah, I think it was a long time ago.
Like
You have to check.
Pre-3?
You have to Google it. Yeah, because they were. I think they announced that they were working on The Witcher and Cyberpunk, and then every year they've just been like, "Yeah, we're still working on Cyberpunk," and
they're like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but I mean, but it works, right? Because they make absolutely incredible games. But like, apparently the Cyberpunk Twitter account has not tweeted in 6 years, and then at the beginning of 2018, it just did like asterisk, beep, asterisk, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, yeah!" Everyone's like clapping, like, "Oh my god, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen!" Because obviously it's like something's starting up, something's beeping, yeah. And CD Projekt Red have confirmed they're coming to E3 with an RPG, and everyone's like,
"Yeah,
you may as well just say it because like we know what that means." I'm going to be very interested to see what stage it's going to be on. Do you think it's going to be on Sony's or Xbox's stage? I've got a feeling it's going to be on Xbox's stage. I reckon Phil Spencer has had to pick up the phone and he's like, "We need something.
We need this."
Yeah. But yeah, Joe, that's going to be one that if we do see a trailer, that's going to blow up. I reckon they're going to. I've got a big smile on my face now. It's just The Witcher in like The Witcher meets Blade Runner.
That's perfect. That's like my style of game.
Without Geralt.
That's my time.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's going to be incredible. What was your other game, James?
The other game, which I'm pretty sure is going to be shown on the Sony stage instead, is Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked if Kojima comes out on Microsoft stage and he's like,
"Hiya." He did it with MGS5, I believe. So there's a chance.
Oh, okay. Wow. No, I think he's too, but he's got to be too buddied up with Sony now because obviously he's got his own studio. Like,
is it not an exclusive?
I think it is just purely because Sony really helped him out when he was building his studio.
Yeah.
And obviously he's Japanese, Sony's Japanese. I think it just makes sense because they were there for him when obviously Konami were being dickheads. But yeah, I mean, the real question, James, is: are we going to get another insane trailer that makes no sense that we're going to theorize about for another 5 years?
Are we going to get gameplay?
Yes, could this be the gameplay?
We need that juicy gameplay. That's what we need.
Do you think we're going to get gameplay? Apparently, a few people in Sony have said they've played some of it, which is very exciting. Like, it's got me excited now.
If we do get gameplay, it's going to completely remove the mystery, though. I suppose you can keep it, like the mystery.
Yeah, but Joe, at some point the game has to be released. You do know this.
I know. But
I kind of don't want it to be though. I just want him to make weird videos once a year. Like, don't make a game again. Just make weird videos with Norman Reedus every year. Yeah, we don't want, because if the game comes out and it's like a 4 out of 10, we're going to be like, no.
He's hyped it to the sun and it can't never live up to that expectation.
Exactly. It's already hyped so much.
I'm kind of worried because if we see gameplay for it, it's going to completely remove that cloak of suspense.
What if the gameplay is incredible as well?
About, yeah.
If the gameplay is incredible.
What if it's just like you're just Norman Reedus, there's no HUD, it's just in that gooey place, there's handprints everywhere, like dead crabs.
Or what if there's like a really shitty
Mads Mikkelsen is there.
There's like it's got a submachine gun, it's got 15 bullets, it's clearly shown in the corner, he gets hit, the screen flashes red, his health regenerates, and then he like shoots.
We just hear the phrase "boots on the ground."
Boots on the ground confirmed.
Enemy UAV in the air.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
I don't think that. I mean,
announcing partnership with Activision
for the Battle Royale mode.
Oh my god, imagine if it's a Battle Royale game. Death Stranding Battle Royale. Everyone is a guy, and then occasionally you can be a crab.
Norman Reedus versus space zombies.
Yeah. That's another thing, actually. How many new battle royale games or like modes do you think we're going to get at E3? I reckon we're going to get at least 4 that we've not heard of yet. Obviously, we know Battlefield's getting one. We know COD's getting one.
I think it's going to transcend indie. Like I don't know. I don't know if you can count Fortnite as indie anymore, but like it came from indie beginnings. So
Fortnite was never indie.
I think battle royale has completely gone from indie to AAA now. So every AAA is going to have a battle royale mode.
Which sucks, because it doesn't work.
Well,
yeah, like, I'm kind of sick of Battle Royale now. What if Fallout 76 is a Battle Royale game? Yeah. What if it's just Battle Royale inside the Shelter 76?
But again, with engines,
I'm out.
How do you fit that many people on a COD engine? You can barely
It's
fit...
just 10. 10 people Battle Royale.
Oh. You can barely
I don't know.
COD said that they're integrating it with kill streaks, didn't they? Like helicopters and cars and like tanks and stuff. I don't know how that's going to work.
I think if COD does it right, it's going to be... I don't want to say Fortnite killer, because it's not going to kill Fortnite, but I think it's going to be up there in like the top 3 Battle Royale games, if they do it right, but there is a very strong chance that they could completely fuck it up. But I don't think that they will.
The thing is, so far, we've seen... Sorry, go on.
No, it's just because, I mean, David Vonda has been making Black Ops for bloody 10 to 12 years, so he kind of knows what he's doing multiplayer-wise. It's just, obviously, this is new territory for them, so it depends on whether or not they can nail it. Because I think they're on about just slapping, like, everything Black Ops into this mode, so, like, all the characters from the previous games and all the maps jumbled up together to make a super map.
Yeah, super map, including all of your favorite things. Like,
yeah. So it's 50-50. It could be like the best thing to happen to Call of Duty, but it could also be like the death of Battle Royale games.
It could work, because before PUBG, there was, I think it was something called King of the Hill, or I don't know, I forget all of them, but Battle Royale goes like quite a few years back. Yeah, like started on H1Z1. I think there was a few other games, because I remember my friend was like, yeah, I can't stop playing this game. Where there's like 100 people and you narrow it down, but it was relatively quiet. And it was only until PUBG kind of got the formula perfectly right that it blew up. And then the only reason people downloaded Fortnite, because on PlayStation it meant you could play Battle Royale and it was free. And the only reason people played it on Xbox was, again, we were waiting for PUBG and it was free. So, like, no one cared about Fortnite. It was all about PUBG. And then it slowly shifted, because Fortnite has just nailed every update. Like, skins, emotes. Like, they do consistent updates, like seasons and stuff.
They've been messing up with the later updates.
Really? Well, all I can compare it to is PUBG, which has been... Honestly, PUBG has not put a foot right so far. I've got an Xbox One X that I paid stupid amounts of money for, and I can't play a game that is 6 months old without it crashing, or it just glitching, or not being able to find 100 people to put in the map with me. Or you'll like loot for like 15 minutes, and then you just hear one gunshot from like a mile away where someone will get you in the back of the head, and it's game over. And I'm like, why have I sat here for 15 minutes? So like Fortnite got big, and I can imagine it happening again. And it could be COD. Imagine, think how excited you'll be. You'll be like, everyone's talking about COD, yay!
I know. But, like, for me, that's kind of why I don't like Battle Royale, because it's like, you spend half an hour running around looking for people, shot in the back of the head, let's do it all again. It's like, that's it, that's your experience. It's the same map, it's the same thing over and over again. It's like,
Well, the good thing is Fortnite is quick. So like, the turnaround for Fortnite is very quick, but the PUBG loading times and everything is so long.
Well, that's what I was talking about as well with the transition from indie to AAA. It's like AAA have got a whiff that this indie darling of a concept has kicked off, and they're like, right, we're having it now.
And now they're going to fuck up the ass without condom.
Well, to be fair, in my opinion, Battle Royale's never got it right, but like any Battle Royale game, I just find... not fun, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think AAA's are probably going to brutalise it, honestly.
This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I hope they do. Like, I know. It's a bit of a.
He doesn't like his beloved COD being messed with, does
You
he?
should write an opinion article.
It's a bit of a spicy, opinion here, guys. But I kind of hope that COD mess up their own battle royale, because that'd mean that AAA's might be like, oh, maybe it's not so great an idea. Because
Well, the thing is, it happened with hero shooters. Everyone was like Battleborn, Overwatch.
Yeah.
It happened with like 4v1 when everyone was like, "Oh, 4v1's the way forward." And this is obviously just the new craze. And then come next year, there's going to be something different, and everyone's going to be like, "Woo!" And there's going to be like 5 games that everyone's going to play. Like Battle Royale, it's definitely got an end date, and I think this year is going to be the end of it, just purely because even though PUBG was broken, I loved playing it. But even I'm now at the point where, like, even if I win a game, the novelty's kind of worn off for me. And I think the market just being completely oversaturated in, like, September time with loads of games having a Battle Royale mode, it's just going to fully kill it off, and then it's just going to have to transition over onto the next thing.
Yeah,
which could be Ghost of Tsushima. Look at that for a segue.
What is Ghost of Tsushima, Tom?
Yeah, come on, James. Give us the lowdown.
It's being made by a developer called Sucker Punch. I don't know if you've heard of Sucker Punch.
They make
They're the Sony studio that made Infamous, yeah. They made the Infamous games.
So this is a very different step for them. This is not like cool hip kid with like superpowers.
Yeah.
This is
this is supposed to be very traditional samurai.
Yeah, traditional Japanese samurai, which is.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going for. They're going for a very like almost historically accurate kind of Japanese samurai RPG. They want to obviously it's got its bit of fiction in there, but they want to keep it as real as possible from what I've heard. I think it's the premise is it's a Mongolian invasion of one of the islands off of Japan.
Ooh, okay.
And you're one of the people who has to defend against it.
That could be. Is it going to end up like a hack and slash?
I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see.
That's what I'd be worried about. Because Mongol invasions, that means a crazy amount of people, because it's Mongol.
Yeah.
Which means hordes of enemies, which means possibly hack and slash, which.
Well,
makes me slightly
considering their other games were Infamous, I would say it's highly likely, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is one of. Sorry, I was just going to say this is one of. I think Sony came out and they were like, this E3 we're going to focus on these 4 games, and it's what Spider-Man, Death Stranding, Ghost, and something else.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
I can't remember what it was. They said like our E3 is going to focus on these 4 games. So I think we are going to get a lot on Ghost. Oh, that was it. Last of Us. How could I forget that?
Oh God!
Yeah.
How would we forget?
But they said they're going to focus on those 4 games. So I think we're going to, like, the next time we do a podcast, we're going to have a lot more information on Ghost. I think the hype train for Spider-Man is only going to get like bigger and better. I think Last of Us, we're going to get a decent gameplay reveal. We're also, I think we should probably see the From Software game, the one that was like Shadows Die Twice, right?
Yeah.
Which everyone was like Bloodborne 2 because of the way it was like gory and bloody, and like the thing was like moving and changing. But because there was all like I forget the name of the like what the Japanese characters are called, but apparently there's like loads of those in the background. That's it. Yeah. And apparently Shadows Die Twice is a line from a game that From Software owned the rights to, that they last made like 11 years ago or something insane. So it's cruel that they would tease it and make it look like Bloodborne, but it definitely looks like it's going to be that older franchise that they had. And I would be so pissed off if they don't have Bloodborne 2 in the works, because that game is absolutely freaking flawless. I love that game to pieces.
Yeah, it is flawless.
So
I wouldn't be opposed to a Bloodborne 2, but I do think it's going to be Tenchu that gets announced.
Is that the name of it? Sorry, is that the name of the game? Okay, yeah. So
I never played the originals on PS2, but yeah, that's the series.
So it's curious that they would step back and like dig that far into the archives, right? Because like there's no, the fact like no one's going to remember that game. I should imagine if you were to look at the amount of people who played it, it's not going to be a very high stat. Like if you were to be business smart, looking for money and for success, you'd be like, okay, everyone loves Bloodborne, everyone wants Bloodborne 2, here it is. So for them to like go, here's a game that not a lot of you are going to remember.
I don't know though, Scott. This does actually seem like a From move, because they obviously don't want to give everybody a Dark Souls 4. We've just had the remaster, so like Dark Souls kind of run its course.
I would like a Dark Souls 4.
I know,
Please.
I know, but and then with Bloodborne, it's kind of the same thing. So they want to obviously make a new kind of IP. Well, it's not new, but they want to bring a new game out. And I think the way that they teased it last year was done on purpose, because it's like, well, they know that Bloodborne's popular, so they could be making a Tenchu, which is kind of not like Bloodborne, but do you know what I mean? Like kind of thematically similar.
So like Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's relatable. It's relatable if you've played the Souls games, but it's not a Souls game.
I hope that they keep the type of game. Like, I hope they're not changing up their formula, because their formula's a magical formula that I can't get enough of.
Yeah, well, me and Joe on our split playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered, you can see it on Twitch if you head over to twitch.com/Sir Little Lions or JT666 on tryrolling.com.
There you go. Shameless plug there.
Continue.
But if I were to get console worry for a moment, I think Sony have been hitting the ball out of the park so frequently with exclusives and like stellar games over the last few years. Yeah. And they've said like the next console is 3 years away, so they're already kind of thinking for next gen. I reckon the games that we've seen so far, like Last of Us, Spider-Man, etc., are going to be like kind of the end of this generation. I don't think Sony are going to tease anything new in terms of like, this is a new Sony game for you to get excited about. I think it's just going to be a fun-filled hour and a half of like interesting information about the games we're already excited for. Exactly. Whereas I think this year Xbox are going to, it's a 2-hour conference. I reckon Phil Spencer's going to stand there and just hit home run after home run. I'm hoping. I'm so excited.
Well,
and I don't mean to get console worry, but
so hoping,
it would just.
You're hoping for a lot of new releases and things.
Yeah, I'm hoping just for like, because Phil has said that the 3 things he wanted to do, he wanted to get a console that was his, because obviously the Xbox One launch he wasn't a part of. So he was like, when he took over, he was like, I want a console that's mine. So he's got the S and the X. He wanted software, so like the UI is completely revamped and it's his and it's great. And then finally the games needed to follow, and that was 3 years ago. And now we're kind of hitting the point where in theory we should be seeing some of what he was creating. At the very least, like, give us half an hour of just trailers that are like, that don't even have a date at the end, or just say 2020. Stuff for us to go, oh my god, that looks sick. It's exciting to own an Xbox again.
Well, they need to,
and then also
cancelling games first.
RIP Scalebound. But yeah, also as well, like there was news that Microsoft are injecting a hell of a lot of money into creating essentially like a third arm. I don't know why I said third arm. Like I don't know how many arms Xbox has, but like a new part of Microsoft and Xbox specific that is just focused on, they quote, and I quote, called it quadruple A games, which I'm again really excited about. And they're only staffing up for this now, so I don't think we'll hear or see any trailers, but I'm hoping quadruple A. That's what they've said. They are hiring the best talent. It's going to be a studio based in Santa Monica.
So maybe not just as good as God of War.
Whoa! I said let's not get console worry. Blimey! Look at that. But I hope he acknowledges that.
So they're making.
Yeah, it's a weird line, right? Essentially, yeah, they're making it in Santa Monica, which obviously Sony has a Santa Monica studio. I think there's a load of other developers that are out there as well. And they're just staffing up to make essentially this powerhouse that just produces games. So even if, I doubt we're going to see trailers because I think it's too soon, but even if he just acknowledges, he's like, look, we know we've had a problem with games and people are unhappy about it. here's a load of trailers, and also I don't know how he announces it, but just like, we just bought a building and it's full of really cool dudes that are going to make good games, and women.
You could say that.
Not making women. It's full
good
of
women.
yeah. We bought a building full of good men and women who are going to make great games. Like, I hope he just does something, and I hope we just knock it out of the park. Also, Doom 2, Bethesda, if you're listening. I think it's likely Bethesda are listening.
Yeah. I think that Metro will also be shown on the Xbox stage. I've got a feeling that Metro will be an Xbox, not exclusive, but it'll be shown on the Xbox.
Yeah, definitely, because it was there last year, right?
Yeah,
it was weird. I watched that whole trailer and I was like, I'm really excited about this. I wonder what this is. And then I saw Metro and I was like, I'm not bothered, because the was it last two games just haven't bothered me at all.
Mate, you need to play the Metro games. They're so good. They're so good.
I'm sorry, James.
No. I don't want to say like better than Doom, but like if you like single player shooters, there's plenty of content in there. It's cool. It's like, think of like the world of Fallout and like the kind of gunplay from Doom, like kind of together.
Okay, that's kind of my language.
It's cool. It's all about like scavenging for like air filters, and it kind of mixes horror as well. It kind of mixes horror in with first person shooters. I really like it. Last Light, the previous one, was fantastic.
well. I mean, I can't promise I'm going to play it, James, but but
they're like £3 on the store. Come on, man.
They are always on sale, aren't they? It's really weird.
I'm not lying.
I mean, the only thing I would trust would be a review of those games, but I don't think you've done one. So shall I talk about my review? My reviews, plural. Yeah. Reviews. So most recently, I reviewed What Remains of Edith Finch, which it's an indie game developed by, I think it's Annapurna. Basically, there's like a company that make films, and they recently reached out into games, and they made this game, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So it's by a developer called Giant Sparrow, and it's published by Annapurna, or however you pronounce it, which are these film guys that I was on about. And this is like, it's like a 3-4 hour indie game, which is right up my street. I bloody love indie games. And you essentially just walk through this house, and it's really eerie, and you play as Edith, and you're walking through, and she's also narrating. So you're walking through the house, she's narrating, telling you about her family that have like seemingly this curse over them, where the family members will die in really horrific circumstances, which is why parts of the house are all boarded up, because it's essentially locked their memories away. And you essentially slowly but surely explore the house, and you get to play these family members' last moments in almost like a mini game. So one of them you're playing as like a cat running through a tree. One of them you're playing as like a guy who works at a fish, like a tuna tinning factory. Another one you're playing as like a photographer who's also out hunting wild deer and stuff like that. It's really well woven into this overarching story. And it's just a really pleasant game to play. Like, you just sit back and you let Edith talk you through this house, and you go and explore, and bit by bit you piece together this like really tragic story about her family before it then concludes in a really I won't spoil it, but it concludes in a really strong way. And I was like, that was just a really enjoyable game.
You've made me want to play it.
Yeah, coming from like, I absolutely love indies, and this was right up my street, and it was one of the best that I've played in the last few years. It's up there with like the likes of Oxenfree, Gone Home, games like that. So if you like games like that, if you like 4-hour narrative driven walking simulators, essentially, you'll love it. I thought it was brilliant. And then I also reviewed Far Cry 5, which is I think absolutely, yeah, completely the opposite. I'll be honest, when Far Cry 5 was announced or teased or whatever, and I heard it was in America, I wasn't down for it. I haven't been excited about Far Cry since Far Cry 3. I didn't play. I think I own Primal, but never played it. And then Far Cry 4 didn't interest me either because I didn't like the setting. For me, Far Cry has always I've always wanted it to be somewhere hot, somewhere either Mediterranean or like when it was in Africa where you see like crazy wildlife. And I know 4 still had that, but there was something missing from 4 and Primal that just didn't grip me. And when I looked at 5, I felt the same way. Like 5 didn't I was like, I don't want to go around America. Like there were so many games that involve that. And then you saw like the Montana setting and how gorgeous it is. Then you hear about like you get to have like a big bear called Cheeseburger as your buddy, or a dog called Boomer, or a cougar called Peaches. Or you could have like I have like Peaches and Cheeseburger with me side by side as I go and like raid outposts. And it's just. It's essentially just everything that's Far Cry, because Far Cry is bonkers and insane, but then you put that in America, and parts of America are just bonkers and insane, and the cult that you're fighting against are completely bonkers and insane, and all these things come together in such a terrific game. Like, you have so much fun. Even like the first 45 minutes, I was like, I don't think this is catching me the way I wanted to, because I was doing the wrong things. I was going around trying to find like following these treasure maps, which by the way are really good once you get into them, because some of them are set in like haunted houses, or you've got to go through like cave systems and you find these really cool things. But having these like weird cults drive around, chase after you in like stunning Montana. I said Montana, right? I think it is Montana. It's going to be awkward if it's wrong.
No, I think it is.
It's just it was honestly such a phenomenal game. I think it's everyone that I've heard of has reviewed it and talked about it and said it's not as good as 3. I think for me it's superior to 3, because what I remember was good about 3 was the setting, obviously, and Vass, that one bad guy. But for me, Far Cry 5, blimey,
Okay.
it sounds like I've been drinking. It just nails everything else. Like, no longer do you need to hunt to like do an upgrade. You don't have to like swim out to sea and try and find like 10 sharks so you can get a bigger wallet. Like, there are hunting quests on the side that give you skill points to then upgrade your character, like your skill tree. So if you want to do it, it's out there and it's necessary. But just going around and having access to helicopters and planes, or like having a buddy in a plane that's like shooting down, and having another guy who's got a flamethrower running around with you, and then having like Cheeseburger with you, and then going through these 3 different cities and meeting these 3 different bad guys, because the main guy has 3 siblings and they each own a third of the map, and then you have to go in their section and cause havoc, destroy their statues and stuff like that, their outposts, do missions to help the locals, and bit by bit you'll draw them out. It was just so good. And like, one of the family members was called Faith. She deals in this toxin, like this drug called Bliss. So when you're in her area, her section of the map, which is massive, you're like tripping out and you keep like seeing her, because there's so much bliss in the area and the water supply when you're just in that part of the map. Like, it completely changes the game. You spend 10 hours fighting this one guy who's like a hardcore military guy who sends death squads after you, and has like people with bows and arrows and wolves chasing after you. Then you go to Faith's area, which is completely different, and there's like people roaming around in jeeps and stuff, but you're constantly freaking out and tripping out because there's drugs in the air. And then you go to the last guy, who his name was John or Joseph, John I think, and he like tortures people. So when you're there, you're seeing people who are constantly cut up, and it's so hard to describe. Read the review that's on the website, because I think this is possibly the best Far Cry game I've played, and I absolutely recommend you guys play it as well, because it's terrific. Can you tell I really bloody love that game?
I'm gonna say right now that I didn't enjoy it that much.
No!
No!
Did you finish it all?
No, I didn't finish it all. I got bored.
Ooh.
How far did you get?
So I went to the southwestern place, whichever that is. I
think it's
basically
John, right?
completed that, but it didn't take me long at all to complete it. So maybe I was playing it wrong.
What? I honestly spent maybe 10 hours per section, because I do missions, then I just roam around around and just like enjoy the chaos. Like obviously Far Cry games are mad where you'll be like shooting a guy and then like a tiger will come and maul someone to death. But this was that on like steroids, because the amount of times I saw someone like drive into someone, then something blow up, then like a random bear come and fight my bear. I was constantly just recording videos and like taking screenshots of all the completely insane things that were going on. I'm gutted you didn't like it. No, that's horrible.
I think that Far Cry just isn't my type of game, though. It's the problem.
Okay, so it's Far Cry as the kind of like, oh, I've got malaria now.
Yeah, so Far Cry's definitely moved on from that. Like, it's definitely nowhere near that. So if you liked the I've got malaria now, you're definitely not going to like where it is. This was just full on, like, gun-ho, have fun, shoot some, like, weird religious guys. And also, the ending is absolutely insane. If you're not going to play it, I definitely watch, like, a YouTube video that just shows the ending. Because you finally do everything, and you're like, finally. My ending, and then you're like, oh my god, because it's
happened.
Yeah, it's just completely out of nowhere. But yeah, I can't sing that thing's praise enough. Or even just like the setting. Like I really loved going through America more than I did going through whatever tropical island that was. And just driving, and they had like weird religious cultist music on the radio that was like Christian music, and it was really addictive, and it was like, we're all gonna die, or something like that, with like gospel singers, and it's really creepy, but it gets really addictive. And then obviously it's got like country music as well, like woven in, or just when you're walking around you hear like a slow banjo playing. I just loved everything about it. Like I don't think I could fault it. I really don't think I could, and I'm gutted you didn't like it. No.
It wasn't bad, I just, I got bored.
No. I'm just gonna cry now.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's our E3 kind of prediction list and games we're looking forward to. Just to tie it up, I was just going to say like the recent releases. I think there's been an update to Sea of Thieves. Scott, there's a big shark in it now.
I walked away from Sea of Thieves when I realised all it was you do the same mission for 100 hours until you unlock enough money to buy a different sail on your ship. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted like obviously not Destiny style raids, but I wanted like big team coming together to do a really difficult mission on the high seas. And it was the first 10 hours when it first released, and you're on your ship and you're having fun, you're exploring, then the first time you see another ship or you see the Kraken, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. But then the gameplay is just go and get a treasure map, or go and get it
pulls the dust cover off the actual content.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's literally just either get treasure or go and kill a pirate or go and collect, like, spices or something. And you do that. And then when you unlock, it's like, congratulations, you're level 50 now. You're now a pirate captain. You unlock the secret thing. And you go down into this, like, secret area where only one person had got to after, like, 100 hours. And then everyone was, like, watching on the live stream, like, oh, what happens when you get to the max level? And then you go in there and it's just different missions, except they're, like, super treasure hunt now. And instead of like one treasure hunt, it's like 8 treasure maps all at once, and you have to return all of them at once to pass the mission. So it's not like the mission gets better, it's just like the stakes are now higher. Yeah, and so to put it really does relate to No Man's Sky, where everyone was like, everyone played it and they were like, wait,
No Man's
Sea. Exactly. Yeah, No Man's Sea, because everyone was like,
actually been getting a lot better.
Well, they've been actually supporting.
Yeah, it's exactly, and I can imagine Sea of Thieves being the exact same way in a year or two's time. But at the minute, the releases were exactly the same, where it's like everyone was excited, and then they get it, and they're like, "Wait, is this it?" And then there was that similar hook where it's like, "Wait, it's not it. Get to the middle of the universe, or become a pirate captain. That's when the real game begins." And then you do it, and you're like, there's nothing here. That's so, like, why did I build up what's in the center of the universe for so long when, spoiler alert, it was just another universe? That's so cheap. That's just Command C and Command V. Copy and paste. That's not cool. Hello, games.
But that's it. That's the problem with these type of games. at launch, and that's the key thing. At launch, the value's not there. So you pay like 40 quid, 45 quid, $60, whatever, and you get in a game that's about, what, 15 quid value, I'd say is fair, for what you actually get.
It for 15 quid. To play with friends now and again when I was bored.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
it's certainly not a £40 game.
but at full price, the value's not there. But it will be over time. But that's the issue. It's like with these type of games like No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves, it's like it will eventually become.
With No Man's Sky, I think it will be. Like I don't think it's still a £40 game. I don't think it's a decent game still. They have a lot of work to do. But
I think they need to change the pricing strategy.
That's going to be harder. So the main problem with CFCs is there's literally no progression. None at all.
So what's this new update then? Is it literally just like a big shark?
As far as I'm aware, I've honestly stopped following it because they were like, we're updating this and it's now this, and I'm like, that's not. The only reason I'm not massively pissed off about it was that with Game Pass, every new Xbox game from now on goes into Game Pass day one for you to play. So I paid £8 for Sea of Thieves because I paid for the month. I played Sea of Thieves for two, maybe 2.5 weeks, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm bored of this. I can cancel my subscription. The same way it works with Netflix. Like, in theory, you could buy Netflix for the month, pay £8, watch all like 5 series of Breaking Bad, and then cancel your subscription. And you're like, the value for money here was great because I paid £8 and I got what I wanted. So for Sea of Thieves, I didn't pay 40, I paid £8 and I got like 10 to 20 hours of good fun until it got boring, and then I cancelled it. And that's why I'm thankful that it did come out in there, and I'm very excited to see what happens going forward with like Xbox releases and Game Pass, because if we get like Halo 6 and you, instead of paying £40, you just pay £8 and get the game until you finish the story.
It is a cool idea.
I'm super down for that.
I'll give Xbox that. That is a cool idea. A subscription service like that. Basically, you bolt it onto what you're already paying, but you get the games. You know, the new releases.
Similar things with PlayStation as well.
Yeah, similar.
Subscription services you can subscribe to, and there's.
I think the only downside to that was like
PS2 games on there.
I think the downside to what Sony has is that you stream them.
Yeah.
So it's PlayStation Now or something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Xbox, so long as you're paying for the month, you download the game to your console, so you don't have like latency or like slight delay or anything. So you essentially download everything you want, and then when the month runs out, obviously it says if you want to play this game, please insert the disc or rebuy Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I think Sony's ever.
Because because of the backwards compatibility, I assume they have to stream that platform, so it has to be done a different way.
I'd definitely love to see PlayStation do a similar thing, like in terms of new games going in there.
Exactly.
Like if we were to see God of War appear for £8, I'd be like, whoa, yes please.
Developers have a brain
hemorrhage. Yeah, developers are like, where's our money coming from? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, well, I mean, the other games that came out for PlayStation, obviously, is the tremendously acclaimed God of War, which, like, everywhere was giving 10 out of 10s.
I'm yet to play. I haven't
played.
I'm going to buy it when it's on sale.
It does look good. And more recently, it's everybody's quite upset that it's not actually as bad as they wanted it to be, but the new David Cage Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, everyone is expecting like 5 out of 10, weren't they? But it was kind of alright from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think people are a bit confused that it's not total garbage.
Because the one thing normally you get is like really weird and wooden cutscenes and like characters
in a shower.
Yeah. Well, that bit when like in Heavy Rain when he's running through the mall and he's like, what's the kid called? He just like, you have to press like X to say the kid's name, and you're just running through the shopping mall just like saying his name over and over. It's like Ethan or something, or like James, and he's like running. Yeah, he's like running down the wrong escalator, just going, Ethan, and you press X, and he's like, Ethan.
Nice.
But yeah, both games I'd love to play. I think Detroit is the kind of game I'd definitely pick up for like a tenner, and like I just have a really funny night where either get friends round, or I like play with my girlfriend, or I'll just be by myself, and I'll be like, I'm just going to go through this once and do this way, and then I'll play it again tomorrow, and I'll do it a completely different way, and it's good fun to see how everything is. I did hear as well. I've heard people say like, because it's split across 3 characters, that they've cocked up in like one of the early scenes with one of the characters, and the character is just dead. So like instead of having 3 characters like have a storyline, they've only had 2 because they kind of made really stupid decisions in the beginning.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
and the game's like, you did it, so.
Yeah, I do like that concept. Like you say, if it's on sale for like a tenner, I'll pick it up because it's a game that I've wanted to. Well, both of them are. I want to play both of them.
Unfortunately, I don't spend full price on games that I'm not going to get the.
Exactly. If it's not
nowadays.
Yeah, if it's not a launch day purchase, I'll wait for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That has been the 8th podcast. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh yeah, episode 8.
Episode 8.
The E3 cast.
The
E3 special.
The Pre-3 cast.
Oh, the
nice.
Oh, I'm gonna call it that. I'm gonna call it the Pre-3 cast.
Nice. Yes, Rollcast E3 special.
Pre-3.
Goodbye.
Boy.
It's good to have you back, Scott. Good to have your
I'll stop it, you.
Voice. Gracing our ears.
With my crazy predictions. Also, Crash Bandicoot new game, definitely happening.
Oh, and on that note.